Seth Stutman.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Mass Appeal on this Monday. I'm Seth Stutman.
And I am Laura Murray.
Now, Ashley didn't give birth. I think this is important to know. Ashley didn't give birth and immediately spring back into shape. This is Laura. And she's going to be hosting the show for the next few months while Ashley's on maternity leave.
And I am so excited. It's my first day, and I'm rearing to go.
She's going to do a great job. I'm so happy to have you here. We're fast friends already.
Yes,
Either way,
already.
It's Makeover Monday, so we're going to have another makeover. We've got Style Squad right here in Studio 1A to do another fabulous makeover live on the air. But first, let's meet today's candidate. Her name is Debbie. Now check out Debbie. This is some before shots of her. And you were saying you talked with Debbie earlier. Now, what is she looking for?
She is, like many of our viewers out there, she is a busy working mom, and so she's looking for something, obviously, that's easy, that she can do really quickly. And she's also looking, you know, with the change of seasons, it's coming.
That's true.
She is looking for a fresh spring look.
That's so, because you're, as a lady, I don't know this as a guy, but you're supposed to, you know, with the seasons, change it up and, you know, accessorize as the seasons go, right?
Right. Well, in spring, you don't want to wear like a really, really heavy wool scarf or a fur coat or different things like that.
I'm learning all the time.
And you go lighter on the makeup, I feel, for spring, because it gets warmer. And you don't want your makeup sweating off your face or something.
I can't imagine that's fun. Well, we have three very exciting members of our Style Squad, and they are going to help make this makeover happen. So let's introduce the first one. We have Susan Conti. She's a makeup artist. Susan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Welcome, Susan.
Good luck to you.
Oh, thank you.
So earlier we chatted with Debbie. She's a lady on the go. What's your plans for her makeup?
Well, makeup we're doing spring, kind of bringing the rosy cheek and a little bit of a rosy pink lip. It'll complement the clothing that she'll be wearing today. But I think we'll just kind of make her feel fresh and springy. Looking at the brows, and I'm actually reshaping her brows a little bit more and styling the brows. So
Right,
I'm going to be
sounds
working on
great.
that.
Hard to restyle the brows?
No, I didn't bring the wax this time, so don't get nervous. I just brought the tweezers.
She's waxed me on the air before.
Yeah.
We don't. That's tough. Thank you, Susan. Also,
You're
thanks for not bringing the wax.
Okay, you're welcome.
And now we have Lisa Rosenfield, a master stylist at Serenity Salon and Spa. Thank you for being here with us.
Hi.
What are your plans for Debbie?
I'm excited. Deb has gorgeous, natural, long blonde hair. She wears it straight every day, so I want to give her a little va-va-voom and sass her up a little bit. So I'm going to curl her hair with a wide curling iron and then set it so she can have a little bounce. It's easy to do and something new.
All right, does it take a lot of time to give her this extra va-va-voom?
It really, really doesn't. You just have to get used to it, and I'm going to give her some hot tips so she'll be good to go.
All right, great.
All right, why don't we bring the third lady out? It's Amy Perrault, and she's a fashion blogger. Amy, thank you so much for coming today. And as always,
for having me.
your fashion looks
I know,
great.
look at her. Look at those tights.
try,
They're
I try.
fantastic. Fashion blogger here.
So, what's the plan for Debbie today? She doesn't have a lot of time in the mornings.
Right, so we're talking a lot about spring, and right now all the spring essentials are coming out, so we're going to talk about staples of your spring wardrobe.
And a lot of times you have those things in your closet already and you don't even know it.
Absolutely. Or you forget you have it, or things are really coming back into style, so we'll talk about all those things.
All right. Well, hey, we are going to let you ladies get started, and you've got to tune in because by the end of the show, you're going to see a whole new Debbie. You don't want to miss it.
It's going to be great.
So it's Makeover Monday, and if you're looking to revitalize the romance in your relationship, we've got tips to bring the fire back in the bedroom between you and your partner. And we're joined by Jassy Timberlake. She's a sex therapist from Northampton Sex Therapy Associates, and she's going to give us a little sex life makeover.
I hope so.
Let's hope so. Let's talk about your first tip, and I think it's the most important tip. It's to get honest.
That's one of the four most important tips. But yes, get honest. You get the sex life you're willing to settle for. So, ladies, don't fake orgasms. Because you'll just continue to get that kind of sex for the rest of your married life. And if it's not that arousing and fulfilling, why do it? So you have to find ways to sort of gently and respectfully bring the truth and honesty to your relationship with your partner.
That's a good point, because if you're lying, you're only lying to yourself, and you're only hurting yourself too.
Right.
Lying doesn't help. I mean, makes your partner feel okay. It doesn't help you.
Absolutely. And people tend to avoid having this kind of sex that they don't want to have. So in the long run, it just creates more problems in a sexual relationship. So be honest.
I like that tip.
Yeah.
The second one is to understand your sexual style. This one threw me. There's different styles.
There are different styles.
Okay.
There are many different styles, and some people have a little bit of one, a little bit of the other, but sort of essentially there's a style called a trancer, and I always say trancer in American.
You have the large A's, the trancer.
Right. So trancers tend to sort of like lights off, no distractions, don't talk to them. They sort of like the very internal experience of being physical in their bodies. There are people called partner engagers, and that's exactly what it sounds like. They like romance and candles and rose petals and very much about the sort of connection with their partner. And then there are role enactors, and I like to call them the lights, camera, action brigade.
Okay.
They want to swing from the chandeliers, dress in all kinds of costumes, and do really creative, fun
Some high production value.
Yes, exactly, high production value.
Can people of different styles coexist together, or how does that work when they come together?
Absolutely. Nearly all partnerships are made up of people who have different sexual styles, although we all tend to have a little bit of trancer, because most people have a little bit of anxiety about being sexual, and trancers tend to be a little more anxious than the average sexual person. But there are ways to build bridges across these styles. You just have to sort of be willing to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. It's all
Right.
about being honest and having a conversation
Absolutely.
about it. Because as you were saying earlier, and that's why I think it's so important, if you don't have that conversation, then nothing ever gets better.
Exactly. It's just going to stay exactly as it was. So find ways to sort of bring understanding about your sexual style into your relationship so you can have a more honest conversation. After all, we want to give pleasure to our partners, right?
And some people, they become so preoccupied with that, they get nervous about it.
Right. The average guy doesn't want his girl to fake orgasms, I would imagine.
No,
no,
I mean,
not a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
Right.
No, it is not. Yeah, your next tip, create sexy surprises. What are these
Right.
sexy surprises?
Sexy surprises. Well, if you know a bit about your partner's sexual style, of course, you can get a little more creative with this. But human beings are scripted for creativity. We like diversity. We don't like to do the same old, same old. Esther Perel is a writer, an author, and sex therapist, and she says the erotic lives in mystery. So create an environment that's sort of mysterious for your partner. If you have children, arrange childcare, put a bag in the car, and take your partner off somewhere fun that you've never been before. Or get the in-laws to come in and take the kids so that you at least have a weekend at home and, you know, can sort of create a little bit of bedroom magic.
And I can only imagine that when kids are in the situation, becoming intimate and you know, getting excited about it gets all the more difficult.
Oh, absolutely. So privacy is, you know, pretty important for trancers as well.
That's,
so.
well, and it comes back to that. You can create sexy surprises when you're honest, but also when you understand your partner's sexual styles.
Exactly. And sort of also remember that being sexual people isn't just about the sort of mechanics of sex. It's about being in touch with your body, your mind, your heart, and your whole spirit as well. So all those things should factor in.
Now, lastly, your tip is don't see sex as a performance. And I think that, especially for men, that's a big deal.
It's true. Sex should not be a performance. You know, if you are going from the performance angle, you're missing the point. Sex is supposed to be about giving and receiving pleasure and about making a connection with your partner that you can find a way into expressing that connection in sort of pleasurable sexual ways. So performance should be totally off the table. You should be following a sense of bliss, a sense of like real connection with your partner.
Yeah, you're not trying to win or you're not trying to achieve something. You're trying to have a romantic, intimate time with your partner.
Right, absolutely.
Now, lastly, Jassy, a lot of people, they're embarrassed to talk about stuff like this.
They are.
You have a great website, though, that people can go to for more
Yes,
information.
the American Association for Sex Educators, Counselors and Therapists, AASECT, AASECT.org, is the board that certifies sex therapists, and they're a great resource for book recommendations and articles and ways to find sex therapists in your area.
It's a very important topic. It's not something to be taken lightly.
Yes.
So, Jassy, thank you so much
You're
for
very
coming
welcome.
and sharing
Thank you
a
very
little bit
much.
with us today. And you can view Jassy's advice again by visiting our website, mymassappeal.com, later today.